Colombia hired 2 people to test gear in the most extreme conditions on Earth. The directors of Toughness.
My name is Mark Chase and I'm a former rugby player from the UK. I'm a bona fide adventure junkie and I'm always on the hunt for the next challenge.
My name is Faith Briggs. I'm a Brooklyn-based runner and documentary filmmaker. I love to travel and share stories and push myself to the edge.
Today, Colombia is sending them 4,767.4 miles away for their first mission, where they'll do this.
Directors of Toughness, welcome to Colombia. We'll treat you like family.
First destination is the United Kingdom. There will be no tea and biscuits. Back to the UK.
Back to the UK.
Maybe I really am being fired.
So right now we're in the airport about to go to the UK. We don't know what we're going to do when we get there.
I think if I was worried about how hard Colombia would push us on these trips, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Sounds strange, but I'm not concerned about how hard Colombia is going to push me because I'm going to push myself.
Be prepared for anything and everything. It's anything can happen, and most likely with Colombia will happen. Been told to look in the front of our bags right now and find out what our first task is going to be. What else is there to do in Manchester? Man United.
This is awesome.
Manchester United needs no introduction. Colombia is their first official outdoor apparel partner, and they've invited Mark and Faith for a little surprise.
As we ran out into the empty stadium, that's when I knew 100% this wasn't going to be as straightforward as I thought.
Hey, Faith and Mark, come over here.
Meeting Dennis Irwin is incredible. He was part of one of the most successful clubs that the UK or anywhere in the world has ever had.
Welcome to Old Trafford,
Thank
home of
you.
Manchester United, also known as the Theatre of Dreams, most famous pitch in England. I know you wanted to play on the surface, but it's too nice here, the weather's too nice. So we're going to head further north, a couple of hours on an airplane, we're going to head to Iceland. How do you fancy that?
Amazing.
Play a game of football?
I think one thing I've learned is that there are always going to be surprises.
Iceland is quite possibly one of the most beautiful places I've ever visited. The terrain is just like nowhere else I've ever seen.
We are here in Reykjavik, Iceland, about to play a football game.
We found a little street game full of kids that are willing to help us out and give us a bit of a challenge.
Mark, you're playing with the red side. Faith, you're with the blues. The prize for the loser is the honour of jumping in to the infamous Glacier Lagoon. And boy, is that cold. It's damn cold.
There's 2 teams, me against Faith. The loser gets to jump in some pretty cold water tomorrow, so I'm going to win. I need to win.
Have to win. From what I understand, this is a team sport. I've never played it before, but hopefully I'm a strong team.
Go! Very nice. I'm getting itchy feet and I think I'll go and enjoy the game of football. Right, Mark, Team Mark last night with the Reds lost, unfortunately. A very close game, as you know. Put up a good battle, good fight. But of course there was a forfeit to it. And you're going for a dip, a little swim. How do you fancy that?
Deal's a deal, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be done.
Time for a dip.
Time for a dip. This is called taking one for the team.
Talking to some folks from Iceland, I pretty much found out that going into the Glacier Lagoon meant sure death. And he just like walked in. Yeah, he's tough as nails.
It was cold, but to be there surrounded by these icebergs that were the size of buildings, I mean, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. You might think that our reward for everything we've done so far would be a hot cup of coffee and maybe to put our feet up. Not Colombia Sportswear. We're heading onto the glacier to see if we can get lost in an ice cave.
As far as the eye can see, there's just ice.
You're walking on a block of ice, namely the biggest block of ice in Europe. It's cold, it's cold beneath you and all around you. And I don't think that I'd have been able to enjoy the experience as much without some of the protection that we had with us.
It is a pleasant surprise to be able to really enjoy the conditions.
Being in the ice caves is an incredible experience. The ice is so clear here.
It really does look just like blue diamonds. It's so pretty in there.
So we've reached the end of our first mission as Directors of Toughness at Colombia Sportswear.
I know now that I never know what's going to be in store. I know now that as Colombia's Directors of Toughness, Mark and I are just always going to have to be ready for anything. It absolutely is a dream job, and this first trip was proof of that.
Find out what gear kept Faith and Mark warm and dry in Iceland. Click here or here. Iceland doesn't have many trees. Want to know why? Watch the Directors of Toughness lend a hand.